They tried to humiliate me in a fancy restaurant, and even though I could have chosen the path of violence or simply ignored them, I knew that revenge is a dish best served cold. My grandparents emigrated from Italy and opened a small restaurant where they prepared the original recipes from their homeland. When my parents passed away, they took charge of growing the business. With the profits, they supported me and saved for their retirement. I studied finance because I knew that when my parents decided to retire, they would leave the family business in my hands. I didn't want to disappoint them, so as soon as I was in charge, I took out a big loan to move them to a much more exclusive area. I remodeled the furniture, changed the logo while still serving Italian food, with my grandmother's famous secret recipes. And little by little, it started becoming popular among food critics and influencers. Their reviews and positive comments were so widespread that in no time we became known as one of the most luxurious and exclusive restaurants, fully booked even on Mondays. Making a simple reservation could take months, and we even had a VIP area with special tables for when celebrities visited us. I thought I would regret the loan and the modifications I made to the concept, but I grew the 3-generation family empire in just a few months. What helped me, in addition to having studied a degree, was being involved in my grandmother's kitchen from a young age. I helped in the restaurant by doing the shopping, washing the dishes, and even serving the tables. I wasn't embarrassed because doing everything had helped me understand the business better. In fact, it was something I still enjoyed a lot, as it allowed me to see how my employees were treated and how they treated others. On one occasion, a rather rude girl came in without a reservation to celebrate her 25th birthday. She was accompanied by 2 friends who were just as rude and disrespectful as she was, and she demanded that I let her in because she claimed to have important connections.
Let me through, rude waiter. The owner is a good friend of mine, so I don't need a reservation.
Are you deaf?
I swear I've never seen her in my life, and as far as I knew, I was the only owner, so I assumed the girl was just trying to show off in front of her friends. Let's do this, miss. How about we call him? If the owner tells me you can go, I'll give you the best table. At this point, the girl knew that her lie would be discovered at any moment. Then she gave me her worst arguments.
Do you want to lose your job? All it takes is for me to snap my fingers, and no one will ever want to hire you.
If I were you, I wouldn't risk it.
If you know what's good for you, don't risk your low-level job.
I was already fed up with their attitude, so I had 2 options. Reveal to them that I was the owner of the restaurant, which would expose their leader in front of her friends, or ask security to throw them out, which I chose. Take advantage of the situation to become richer than I already was. Excuse my ignorance, ladies. You're absolutely right. Come with me. I took them to the most exclusive table we had in the restaurant, which was always available in case a celebrity, actor, or famous singer reserved it. But without telling them that just for sitting there, they would be charged an additional $1,000 to the bill. Ladies, I apologize once again for not taking care of you as you deserved from the beginning.
Yeah, whatever. Just bring us the menu.
Oh, of course. If they allow us, the first 3 rounds of drinks will be on the house.
That's the least they can do for your rudeness.
That poor spoiled girl didn't know the trouble they were getting into just to impress her friends, since the VIP menu we offer at that exclusive table is so expensive that the prices aren't even printed. My intention in treating them to 3 rounds of drinks was precisely that. Having an empty stomach, they would get drunk more easily and have no problem choosing the most expensive items on the menu.
Can you bring me an order of white truffles covered with Iberian ham and champagne?
I am going to want oysters with avocado and caviar. Bring me the same as them, and also a smoked lobster. And don't worry, girls, today I'm paying.
I was serving them and enduring their screeching voices, mocking other waiters, and an arrogant attitude that worsened as they got drunker, especially because the food they ordered was taking longer than usual. To ensure they wouldn't leave without paying, I took advantage of one of them boasting about having so much money to be able to pay for the dinner. Ladies, due to the restaurant's policy, we require an ID and a credit card from the customer, which can be picked up at the reception after your meal.
Take it and don't get in the way.
To keep playing her little game, the girl gave me her credit card, and they kept ordering drinks for the rest of the night. In fact, they hardly touched the food, they spent the time drinking, and the cocktails they ordered contained exotic ingredients like gold leaf, costing around $900 per drink. When they finished eating, they continued to be rude and bossy towards the waiters and spoke to me as if their wealthy mother had never taught them the slightest bit of manners.
Waiter, hurry up. It's late. I need you to bring me the check.
But move, that's what they pay you for.
Of course, miss, right away. When I came back with the bill, I almost had to wrap the receipt around my hand twice because of the long list of drinks they consumed. The total bill for all of them was around $15,000, and when they saw the amount, they sobered up instantly.
What kind of joke is this?
Yes, since we went broke.
You said the first rounds were free, scammer.
You are right, ladies. Let me verify it at the register. The bill was correct. I didn't add even one more peso to everything you had consumed, so when I returned with the same bill but an extra charge, you went crazy. You are right, ladies. It was my mistake. I apologize.
How inefficient.
No wonder you are a waiter.
Yes, I don't see you working in something that involves a bit more brain.
I took a deep breath and tried to put on my kindest face, even though inside I was dying to kick them out of my restaurant. The bill was wrong, but because that amount still lacked the tip for having served them tonight.
And what about the free drinks?
They are not included in the bill. As I mentioned at the beginning, they were a courtesy. The girls looked at their leader, nervous because each of them only had $500 in their wallet. She had already given me her credit card and her ID, so there was no way she could escape.
Excuse me, I'm going to the bathroom.
I kept working because I knew that sooner or later the girl would have to come out of hiding and pay, so I just walked between the tables watching her friends cry in anguish. I had to knock on the door and tell her we were going to close, but then the most scared and regretful girl in the world opened the door for me.
Please don't let my friends find out about this. I forgot that the card I gave you has a credit limit, and actually, I can only pay you a fifth of the bill.
I'm sorry, but you should have thought of that before ordering the most luxurious dishes and demanding the most expensive table.
Don't you think we can do something about it?
As if that wasn't enough, the same bold woman who had been harassing and humiliating me for being a waiter just minutes ago was now trying to seduce me to avoid paying the full bill. I felt so sorry for her. I saw her as a helpless person asking for a little charity, and I was about to forgive her rudeness. But then I remembered that night, not only she, but her friends had treated all the staff at my restaurant badly, and although the business does well because of its customers, it is my employees who strive so that we all succeed. So, I had no compassion for her. Look, miss, you're going to have to excuse me, but if you don't pay, I'll have to call the authorities. Outraged, she had no choice but to do what any wealthy girl with privileges would do at the first sign of trouble, call her daddy.
Dad, come for me. I need your urgent help.
A man arrived at my restaurant wearing a hat and gold teeth, looking quite extravagant. The strangest thing was that he had a briefcase full of bundles of bills. I thought he would be as unbearable as she was and would treat me badly. But that day, I learned the lesson to stop judging people.
More money again? It can't be.
Sorry, Dad.
I didn't raise you to be such a clown.
Sorry, Dad.
What do you mean forgiveness? It's time you get a real job and stop being supported.
Sorry, Dad.
I don't want to see you going with your little friends to places they can't afford on their own. Bunch of liars.
Sorry, Daddy.
The man paid the bill, called a taxi for his daughter's friends, and almost dragged his daughter by the ears while scolding her and threatening to kick her out of the house if she didn't find a job that wasn't as a so-called influencer. On that day, I distributed the profit of $15,000 among my employees, and we learned that the customer is always right because even when they are not, anything they say can be used against them.